If you've ever Googled what to feed a poorly dog or asked your vet, you've probably heard the same advice over and over. Give them plain boiled chicken and rice. It's the classic go-to, but what if I told you that chicken and rice isn't actually the best option? Stick with me because I'm going to explain why and what I recommend feeding instead that's gentler, more nourishing and way better for their recovery. Let's start by looking at why chicken and rice is so widely recommended. It's bland, low in fat and simple to digest, three qualities that are important when a dog's digestive system is irritated. Rice provides easily absorbed carbohydrates and chicken offers a mild source of protein. For short-term gastrointestinal upset, it can be effective for some dogs, but it's not the perfect solution and in some situations it can actually prolong recovery. First, white rice isn't particularly nutrient dense, it's mostly simple carbohydrates, low in fibre and lacking key vitamins and minerals. It also has a high glycemic index, meaning it can cause a spike in blood sugar more than other carbohydrate sources. Secondly, some dogs struggle to digest rice, especially if their gut is already inflamed. In certain cases, rice can ferment in the intestines, leading to bloating, gas or continued diarrhea. And while chicken is generally well tolerated, it's important to know that chicken is one of the more common food sensitivities in dogs. If your dog's digestive issues are related to a food intolerance, chicken might actually make things worse. And finally, chicken and rice is very low in fibre, and while we sometimes think of fibre as something to avoid during diarrhea, small amounts of gentle soluble fibre can actually help bind stools and support gut healing. This is where sweet potato comes in. Sweet potato is an excellent alternative to rice for dogs with digestive upset. It's rich in soluble fibre which helps absorb excess water in the intestines and can firm up loose stools. It's also a natural source of prebiotics, compounds that feed beneficial gut bacteria which are essential for long-term digestive health. Sweet potato provides valuable vitamins and minerals including vitamins A, C and potassium, all of which support healing. It also has a lower glycemic index than white rice, so it's less likely to cause blood sugar spikes or promote inflammation. Importantly, sweet potato is generally well tolerated by most dogs and less likely to ferment in the gut or cause bloating. For protein, chicken remains a great choice for many dogs as long as they're not sensitive to it. If you're confident your dog isn't reacting to chicken, it can be used as the protein component of this bland diet. However, if your dog has a history of food sensitivities such as chronic diarrhea, itchy skin or recurring ear infections, you may want to avoid chicken. In those cases, a mild whitefish like cod, haddock or pollock is an excellent alternative. Whitefish is low in fat, highly digestible and less likely to trigger allergies. I actually use this approach with my own dogs, Dolly and Reggie. Thankfully, they don't get diarrhea often, but whenever they do, I always go for the sweet potato and chicken mix for Dolly and sweet potato with fish for Reggie, and that's because he can't tolerate chicken. I just make up a batch, I keep it in the fridge and feed them little and often until things settle down, and it works like a charm. One thing to be aware of, sweet potato can make their stools look a little orange for a few days, and that is completely normal, so don't worry. I also like to add a splash of kefir water into the mix, not milk-based kefir, but water kefir. Some of you will pronounce it kefir, some will pronounce it kefir. I say kefir. I hope it doesn't bother you. I find it's a great way to add some extra hydration and support gut health without introducing dairy, which I prefer to avoid when their tummies are unsettled. I'll pop a link in the description if you're interested in learning more about that. Here's how I recommend preparing a bland diet, using chicken or whitefish and sweet potato. Take one skinless boneless chicken breast or a fillet of whitefish and one medium sweet potato. Peel and chop the sweet potato into small chunks and boil until soft, usually about 10 to 15 minutes. Boil the chicken or fish separately until fully cooked. Once cooked, mash the sweet potato and shred the chicken or fish into small pieces, then mix them together in a ratio of 2 parts sweet potato to 1 part protein. I add a little of the chicken or fish cooking water too for a little added moisture and hydration. Serve small portions, start with a tablespoon or 2 every couple of hours depending on your dog's size. If your dog keeps it down and shows improvement, you can gradually increase the portion over 24 to 48 hours. This type of bland diet is intended for dogs recovering from mild gastrointestinal upset, things like temporary diarrhea or occasional vomiting when they're otherwise acting normal and drinking water. It's not meant for long-term feeding, it is not nutritionally complete and should only be used short-term, usually for 2 to 3 days. If your dog shows any of the following signs, you should contact your vet immediately. Blood in the vomit or the stool, ongoing diarrhea for more than 48 hours, severe lethargy or collapse, signs of dehydration such as dry gums or skin tenting. Always err on the side of caution if you're unsure, check with your vet. Once your dog's stomach has settled, you'll want to transition them gradually back to their normal diet. A sudden switch can trigger another upset. Here's a simple plan of how to do this. Day 1, mix 75% bland diet with 25% regular food. Day 2, mix 50-50. Day 3, 25% bland diet with 75% regular food, and on day 4, return to the 100% regular food. If at any point you notice soft stools, vomiting, slow down the transition and return to the bland diet for another day before trying again. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more practical, evidence-based advice for new dog owners. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I am always happy to help.